We don't always get our inequalities in a form where we can create interval notation and write our set notation. Sometimes they're more in a form like this, where we have some operations going on: addition, subtraction, multiplication. Here's multiply, and you have two variables, one on each side of the inequality. So we need to simplify a little bit so that we can get them into a form that we can easily show our interval notation and our set notation and graph. So let's do that with these inequalities. I want to think about this as though it had an equal sign and just solve like I do any old equation. But I have two things that I have to remember. The first thing is that if I swap all the things on the left-hand side with all the things on the right-hand side, like I flip the entire inequality over, then I have to flip over the actual inequality sign as well. And for example, if I have 3 is less than x and I want to write that with the x first, then I would flip the entire thing over, so the x and the 3 are going to swap sides, and then I also have to flip over my inequality. Okay, I think you've seen that already. The second thing I have to be aware of is if I multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, I have to flip over the inequality. Now that's a rule that we have to memorize, but there is a reason, and if you try out some values in a simple equation, you'll see that when you multiply both sides by a negative, that they no longer work, but if you do flip over the inequality, then it will become a true statement again. So I think we can all agree 3 is less than 5, and if I go ahead and multiply both sides by a -2, I end up with -6 is less than -10, and that's not true. It is not less than, but if I do flip the inequality like I'm saying the rule tells me I must, then I'll have -6 is greater than -10, and that one is a true statement. So we can see with a simple example that we do have to flip the inequality over anytime we multiply, and it also works with divide because divide is just a form of multiply. So anytime we multiply an inequality on both sides, like we introduce the multiplication or division, then we have to flip that inequality over as well. So 2 times when you have to flip the inequality.